YouTube family, what is up? So in this video, I'm going to share with you guys, all right, what is the best investment where, let's just say that all you have is $10,000, okay? What's the best investment to put that $10,000 in, okay? So you can, let's just say 10x it, okay? 10 times your money, okay? And a lot of people don't, I think a lot of people are confused with this. Okay, so if all you got is $10,000 and you want to know, hey, Khang, what should I invest it in? And if anybody tells you, hey, put it in stocks, okay? Or put it in crypto, or put it in the S&P 500. Dude, this is what most people do, okay? You don't put in stocks, you don't put it in crypto, and you don't put it in the S&P 500. Okay, there's a video of a guy said, hey, if you take $10,000 and you put it into the SP 500, which is pretty much the safest, and he said in 50 years, okay, you'll probably become a millionaire. I don't know about you, but I don't want to wait until I'm 65, man, to become a millionaire. Okay, so obviously the goal is how can you turn this 10,000 into 100,000? That's your first step. And then how do you turn it from 100,000 into $1 million? The quickest, okay? But you need to understand that the route that I'm going to share with you require risk, okay? Because no risk, no reward. The higher the risk, the higher the return, okay? So if you want to play it safe, then the SP 500 is probably the way to go then. But it's going to take you 50 years, man, 50 years. Once again, I don't know about you, but at 65, what are you going to do with $1 million? Okay? The goal is how can I get from 10,000 to 100,000 within a year? And I think what I'm about to share with you is extremely, extremely possible. And it's extremely possible for anybody to do it, to turn 10,000 into 100,000. Okay? And then once you get that, we're going to go to 100,000 to $1 million. Okay, so let's just say you be like, well, Khang, what about stocks? Stocks not good. So even dude, even if stocks go up 50%, that means you just turn your 10,000 into 20,000. But how likely is that going to happen? Okay, what if it goes down? Ooh, what if it goes down? So you see, if you only got 10,000, stocks, crypto, it's just not the way. To me, all you're doing is you're trying to take your baby money, and what you're really doing is you're trying to get lucky. You're trying to gamble, okay? So I don't think stocks and crypto is the way to go. Okay, so Bitcoin, let's just say Bitcoin is at 100,000 right now. So Bitcoin is at 100,000. And you take your 10,000, you dump into Bitcoin. What is the chance of it going from 100,000 to 200,000? Within like 6 months. How likely is that? Okay? What is the chance of that? You know, so now you turn your 10,000 into 20,000. Now the next question is, can you do it again? Can you now take the 20,000 and wait for Bitcoin to go up to 400,000? How likely is that's going to happen within, let's just say within the next 6 months or a year? Okay? Same thing with stocks. Can you do it again? And again and again and again? That's the question. Or are you really trying to get lucky with your baby money? So for those of you who think like, oh, I got 10,000 or even 20,000 and I want to put into stocks or crypto or the SP 500 to get rich, I'm telling you, this way, dude, it's not going to happen. I don't know about you, but I have never met anybody that took 10,000 and put into stocks and then all of a sudden within a year became a millionaire or 2 years. Okay? Now can it happen where people get lucky? Absolutely. Okay, just like somebody winning a lotto ticket. Same thing, a jackpot. It can. Anything is possible. But I just don't think that this is the route that 99% of you is going to get rich from with that 10,000. Okay? So for those of you who wants to take a little risk, this is the way that I think that you would do it. Okay? So if you got 10,000 or 20,000 to invest, this is what you need to do. Okay? And this is probably the best investment that you can ever make. Okay? And the one that you can only guarantee. Okay? And that is, you need to invest into yourself. Okay? So many of you, man, you're taking your baby money, your 10 or your 20K that you got, okay? And instead of investing into yourself because you don't have the confidence or you don't want to put in the work, okay? Because you're afraid to work a little bit harder and you're trying to get lucky and put it in what, like I said, people in the SP 500, the stocks, or the crypto, and you end up losing your money, okay? But this is right here is your best investment, my friend. It's the only way that you can guarantee because you put it into yourself. So it's the only place that you can guarantee that you can 10x because you're betting on yourself instead of betting on the market. You don't control the market, but you can control your self-worth. Got it? So what you need to do is you need to figure out a high income skill, my friend. High income skills. Whatever that is, you need to figure out what it is, what a high income skills that you can get into. Because skills, my friend, this is what's going to pay your bills. Okay? Not luck. Luck ain't going to pay your bills. Skills. You need high income skills. Once you have mastered the skill, then how can I turn this skill set that you have acquired into a business? You know, so from a skill, let's just say you got 10,000. That skill can make you 100,000. But now to go from 100,000 to $1 million is you got to turn that skill set into a business. That's how you do it, my friend. So let me show you a high income skills that got me, became a millionaire at 32. I'm 41 now. At 32, I've been jobless for the last 15 years. No jobs, no boss. And I'm able to work with just a laptop, a phone, and internet connection. Okay, I'm going to show you that. Okay, so if you like this, you'd be like, Khang, dude, this makes total sense. Okay, but what skill set should I invest in? So like I said, there's multiple one, but I'm just going to share with you the one that I'm currently doing. Okay, so what I do is call wholesaling real estate. Okay, now let's talk about real estate. Most people think about real estate, they think about fix and flip. Okay, majority of them think about, oh yeah, you know what, fix and flip, you need a lot of money, which is true. Okay, so that's why I don't recommend fix and flip. I've done the whole fix and flip game. So if you got 10,000, you'd be like, oh man, I want to get into real estate, I want to do fix and flip. I'm telling you, dude, don't do it. I did the whole fix and flip. And I'm telling you why? Because it requires a lot more capital. Your 10,000 ain't gonna do anything. Okay? It costs too much capital, and it's too much risk, especially if you are new. Okay? And you have to wait 4 to 6 months, okay, to get paid. Too long of a period. Too much risk and too much capital tied up in it. So I don't recommend a fix and flip. And the next thing people know is buy and hold. I have so many people who say, Khang, I got 10,000, I got 20,000, or I got 30,000. I want to start buying rental property. And they're working at a job that makes them, let's just say $75,000 a year. Okay? And they're like, hey, Khang, I got 10, 20, 30,000 saved up. Should I start buying rental property? The answer is no. Because you need to understand that the buy and hold game is a 10 to 20 year game plan. So unless you want to be stuck here for the next 10 to 20 years, then go ahead and do the buy and hold. Okay? But otherwise, dude, the buy and hold is a long-term game. Okay? You're basically not going to make 10 to 20,000 a month from passive. Everybody wants that passive income because they're too lazy. They don't want to work, okay? But rich people are not afraid to work. And that's why most people stay poor because they keep on thinking about passive income. They don't want to work, but they don't have enough money to actually not work. Make sense? Rich people are not afraid to work. And that's why the passive income game, they want to take their 10,000, okay? So let's just say you make 10,000 from your job. So to replace that income of 10,000, how many rental do you have to own? So you need to understand this. Most investment, most rental that you buy only pays you only make about $250 a month from that rental. So think about it. How many rentals do you have to own? Each rental pays you $250 a month. How many rentals do you have to own to the point where it's making you $10,000 a month? That way you can quit. Like I said, it's a long process. And if you're only making $75,000 a year or $100,000 a year, dude, it's going to take you a long time to acquire those rentals. Make sense? So that's why I don't think buy and hold is a game that you should play unless you want to work there for the next 10, 20 years. And I say all this because I have 14 rentals. Okay, but it took me a long time to acquire these 14 rentals. And how I'm able to buy 14 rentals is I work on my active income. Okay, I got rich first. So let me share with you what you should do then. Okay, I need to buy a new bottle. Let me make sure that TikTok is still on here. Okay, dang, we got 600 and some people on TikTok. Let's go, baby. Dude, I've never gotten so many people in a long time on TikTok. 600 something. All right, I'm gonna give you guys all I got. Okay, so let me share with you what it is that you need to do. Okay, and for those of you who don't understand, so let's just say, for those of you who think about, hey, Khang, well, what about an FHA loan? Okay, I can borrow the bank 3.5% down. Okay, and then go buy a duplex or a fourplex, a triplex, and do house hack. And there's another guy who said, hey, why don't you borrow money from your credit card and use the money from the credit card to go put a down payment on the house? Dude, listen, if you have to borrow money from your credit card just to buy a house, dude, you already can't afford it. You already can't afford a house. All right? So you shouldn't even buy a house. And a lot of you don't understand is that when you buy an investment property or a house, okay, especially buying a house, dude, you're paying to live there every single month. And property tax, people don't understand all of the costs that are required to be a homeowner. So if you don't even have, to me, when you can afford to buy a house, is you need to have at least 20% down. That's when you know you comfortably can afford it. Okay? So don't stretch yourself thin. So the first thing you need to focus on is, how can I get rich first? Okay? That's the thing. How can I take this 10,000 and once again turn into 100,000 in the shortest amount of time? The shortest amount of time. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay? But I need you to understand this. Rich people buy real estate not because of not because of what you want, not because of what you thought. Cash flow. Let me say this. If you're making $100,000 a month, do you care about buying a piece of property that actually pays you $250,000? Do you care? You don't care, my friend. You don't care. Okay? So the rich people, they buy real estate because, dude, the number one reason, tax write-off. It's a huge tax write-off for them. Okay? So let me explain. So I need you guys all to understand this before I show you guys what wholesaling is and how you can actually get rich from wholesaling real estate with very little capital. You got 10, 20,000? This is the game that you want to play. Okay? And it's the game that's going to get you from 10,000 to 100,000, from 100,000 to $1 million. But you need to understand this first. Okay? So rich people buy real estate because if you make let's just say if you make $1 million. Okay? If you don't buy real estate, you would have to pay Uncle Sam 40%. So the people that have made $1 million, they got rich. They'll be like, dude, what can I do to reduce my taxes? How can I pay less to Uncle Sammy? So they don't want to pay 40%. So instead of paying 40%, that's about 400,000. They'll take this 400 G's and they go buy a piece of property. So now they're saving 40%. They take their money, they go buy investment property. They know that this property pays them $250 a month, $250 a month. They don't care. But it's also a place for them to store their 400,000 to hedge against inflation. And they know that real estate is the safest and the most secure place for them to put their money versus stocks or crypto. So they put in here, they know that every 10 to 15 years that this property is going to double. They're going to double in price, 2x. So they're $400,000 just now worth $800,000. And in the meantime, the renter is paying off their debt. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So they don't care about the $250 a month. If you're making $100,000 a month, you don't care about making $250 a month. But what you care about is saving the 40%. And you know that, hey, that property is going to, over 10, 15 years, it's going to double in value. So what they care about is tax write-off and appreciation. The cash flow, dude, that's probably a bonus to them. They'll be like, oh, okay, I get a little bit of money from it. Great. If I don't, they don't really care. Now that you understand that, you need to now say, well, Khang, how can I get rich first? So that's the goal, is you got to get rich first before you can start building wealth. But people start building wealth and haven't got rich. And that's your problem. And that's why they are stuck in middle class. Okay? So let's break you through the middle class and how can you get up to the 1% of income earner. And I think to be in the top 1%, you got to make at least, I think, $800,000 a year. I think. Maybe you guys can Google that and let me know. But let me share with you the game plan that if I were to start with 10 to 20K, how can I turn this into 100K and then into $1 million? This is the blueprint that you need to understand. Okay? So what I do is called wholesaling real estate. No buying, no fixing, no license needed, and you can get paid within 7 days or less. I have closed a deal that I was able to make $20,000 in 3 days. In 3 days. And you know how much it cost me in 3 days? And it only cost me $250. And that, my friend, is called the earnest money deposit, EMD. So I can put a property under contract. Okay, so I can put a $400,000 house under contract with just $250. And I get to control this property for 30 to 60 days. And I can turn around and sell the piece of paper, my contract, to anybody for a profit. And that, my friend, is the power of wholesaling real estate. Think about this. Uber doesn't own any car, but they control all the cars. That's how they make the money. So for us, the same thing. We don't own any house, but we control the property, a $400,000 property, with a piece of paper that we only need to put $250 as an earnest money deposit. Some of my students, they only put $10. Some only put $1. And that is the power of wholesaling. Okay? We don't own anything, but we control it all. Look at Amazon. Amazon doesn't own any product. But how do they make the money? They are the middleman. They are the platform that connect the seller and the buyers. And that, my friend, is what wholesaling real estate is. So I need you to understand how powerful this is. Okay? Does everybody understand how powerful? Like Amazon. Amazon is the middleman. And that's why wholesaling will always be here and will continue to be here. And wholesaling real estate has been around forever. Decades. Forever. Okay? Because everything has a middleman. The middleman is what makes everything work. Uber is the middleman. They connect with the driver, all right? And they connected the driver and whoever it is that needs the service. Okay? And that's what we're doing, is we're the middleman. So let me explain to you how this is going to work. Okay? Okay. So let me explain to you. Okay? If you enjoy this, be sure to smash a thumbs up, give this video a share. Let's see how many people we still got on TikTok. Okay? Oh, dang, we're almost at 1,000 people on TikTok. You guys really like this topic. And I appreciate each and every single one of you that are here. And my goal here is to provide you with as much value as possible for free. No charging, no nothing, okay? And the reason I do this, a lot of people ask, so Khang, why are you doing this for free? So I remember So this is about what, 20 years ago. I was stuck at a job. I was making $8.50 an hour. Okay, I worked there for way too long. I worked there for 8 years. I saw someone online flip a house and made $30,000. Made more than what I made in a whole entire year in let's just say in a month. That's when I realized it's not how hard you work, but it's what you do for work that will make you rich. So you need to understand that picking the right vehicles to get you to riches, dude, that's extremely important. Picking the right vehicle. Okay? That's why they pay somebody $25 a year to flip a burger, and they pay someone $25,000 a month to flip a piece of paper. Because it's a different skill set. So you need to understand when you pick your vehicles, pick the right one. Pick the one that has no limit. You can make as much as you want. Okay? So for wholesaling, here's what I do. So if you got 10 to 20K, the best investment is you need to sign up for this. There's a software that I use. It's called kingdata.ai. Okay? And if you want a full tutorial video on this software, I'll drop the link in the description, YouTube family and TikTok family. You can check the link in my bio. But this software, okay, costs you $149 a month. And I can literally go into this software. And I can go into any city, any states, and I will do it right here in front of YouTube. I'll share the screen. So comment in your city, in your states. I'll do it right in front of your eyes. So I can go into any city, any states, and I would pull a list of tax delinquents. I'll pull a list of vacant property. I'll pull a list of absentee owner. Okay? I'll pull a list of pre-foreclosure. This is before they go into foreclosure. This is the list that I would target. I'll go tax delinquents. These are people who owe property tax, which means if they don't buy, they're going to lose it. The city or the county is going to come after and take their property away. Just like if they don't pay a mortgage, they're going to lose their house. So there's a lot of desperation, a lot of motivation. And these are the people that we're targeting. We're targeting people who are in a situation where they need and have to sell it at a discount. Okay? Vacant property. They live out of states or the property been sitting there for a long time. Boom. Okay? Vacant. They don't want to stuck with two mortgage. Okay? Absentee owner. They don't live in the property. And then we already know pre-foreclosure. Okay? Which means they're absentee. They either rent it. They can be a tire landlord. Right? They don't live there anymore. And they just want to get rid of the property. And then pre-foreclosure, high, desperate motivation. So we go here and we use this software and we pull a list. And all you need that list is to be right around about 10,000 people that you can target a month. Okay? That's all you need. You just need a list of 10,000 people that you can target every single month. Okay? We're just going to call these homeowners up and we're going to start pitching them, making offer, making lowball offer. Lowball offer. And all we do is once they accept, we just put the prop in a contract. And watch how simple this is. So an average wholesale deal. So let's just say you put a prop in a contract. The average deal you're going to make is about 20 to 25K. So I'm just going to use an example in my market. Every single property you put on a contract, you are potentially can make 25,000. So imagine if you have that investment, you just invest into the software. You don't even need the 10,000. Okay? And guess what I'm going to do for you? Let me show you. Okay? I'm going to do something for you no one had ever done for you. I'll pay for all the skip tracing. So for those of you who be like, well, Khang, don't you have to, now that you get the list of address, don't you have to spend money on skip tracing? I'll pay for all your skip tracing. So for whoever it is that have the software, you get access to the seller phone number all for free. So now what we're going to do is, so imagine if every single property you get under contract, you can make 25,000. All you need to do, my friend, 4 times. 4 times a year. That's 1 every 3 months. So there's 4 quarters in a year. So every 3 months is a quarter. And all you need, my friend, is to do it 4 times a year. That is it. And it's something that you can do part-time. You don't have to do it full-time. So who here believes that they can put a property in a contract and wholesale it just in 3 months? That's all you need to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? And you can just put out a few hours a day or just a few hours on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. But to me, once again, that's it. Okay? And all you need to do is 4 times to this a year. And a lot of you be like, well, Khang, now if I got a property in contract, where do I find the buyer? I'll show it to you right here. This software is also where I go and market my deal, find the buyers. Okay? And then some of you be like, well, Khang, what happened if I can't find a buyer? And this, my friend, is why I love wholesaling real estate. If you do it right, it's almost risk-free. So let's just say you got the property under contract for 30 days. You can't find a buyer? Simply call the seller back, either renegotiate to get more time or to get them to come off on price, or you can simply just cancel the contract. So I can call Bob up and say, hey, Bob, you know what? We looked at the property already. Unfortunately, it's just too much work for us to actually make the number work. So unfortunately, at this time, we're not going to be able to move forward to buy the property because the amount of work, the repairs that the property needs based on, our walkthrough. So I'm going to send you a cancel addendum. All right. And let's get this cancel out. And that's it. You send it, they sign it, boom, cancel. And then you move on to the next deal. And that's why I love about wholesaling. If you do it right, all right, and if you set up your contract correctly, it's almost risk-free. And you even get your earnest money deposit back. Now, worst come to worst, okay? The worst comes to worst is you lose your earnest money deposit. That is it. So like I said, no risk, no reward. But let me ask all of you this. Every one of you that's on here, let's see we got to 1,000 on TikTok already. Oh, dang. Okay, we're back to 600 people. Okay, so let me ask you guys this, okay? Who here would risk $200, $250 EMD in return to make $25,000? This is a no-brainer question, okay? But if you tell me you're afraid, you're like, oh, dude, no, I'm scared. Then entrepreneur is not for you. Wholesaling real estate is not for you. And I don't think any business is for you. So if you're afraid to risk this to potentially make this, then your best thing is to stick with this. And this is me just being upfront with you, no sugarcoat, no nothing, and just letting you know how it is, saving you time from trying to build a business, saving you time from trying to be an entrepreneur. If you're afraid to take risk, then building a business, entrepreneurship is not for you. Just get rid of that and just stick with this. Become the best you can at this. Okay? That's it. Okay? So, YouTube family. So I am going to, man, I'm running. Okay, I got to go. Okay, I got to go. I don't have, so someone just comment and say, hey, is this software better than a certain other software? Now, I'm not here to talk down on any business or any software. All I can tell you is I've used them all, and I can only share with you what I'm currently using right now that I feel like it is the best. Okay? And I know some of you will be like, well, Khang is trying to sell us the software. It's not mine. Now, listen, I am an affiliate, but let me ask you this question. Let's just say that you found a software that actually helps you make money. Would you share with your friends and family? Would you share, or would you gatekeep? Would you just keep it all to yourself? And also, too, is by sharing it, you can also make money at the same time. Like I said, I'm not here to I'm an open book. I'll tell you. Would you share it? Or would you just gatekeep? Would you just yep, I don't want my friends, my family to know about this because it creates competitions, yada, yada. I don't want them to win. Well, if that is the type of person you are, then obviously I can tell you right now, you can only go so far. Because when you're able to help other people make more money, you end up making even more money. And actually, it makes you even more happier. Okay? Oh, shoot. Okay. Okay, I got to end TikTok live. Khang, this is a load of crap. Well, once again, legend, to every single one of you, whether you think this is possible or impossible, either way, you're right. Whether so my whole thing is I'm here to share with you, okay, what you can do to start changing your life and to make more money. Okay? If you like this info, great. If you don't like it, great. If you're going to use it, great. If you don't want to use it, that's fine too. Either way, I'm going to make money. All right. Anyways, YouTube family, I appreciate each and every single one of you. Oh my gosh. Look at, we've been on TikTok for 32 minutes. We got 12,000 people on and I got to leave. My God, this is probably the most. 12,000 people on. Okay. Hey, Khang, how old are you? Love wholesaling. Chris, I'm actually 41. Became a millionaire when I was 32. I've been jobless for the last 15 years. Jobless. All right. No boss. Okay. I get to travel, work whenever I want, wherever, with whoever the F that I want. No more alarm clock. And that is something that I want for all of you, is the freedom. Okay? Whether that's $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $100,000 a month, that's up to you. Okay? I appreciate each and every single one of you that's here. For those of you who's like, hey, Khang, man, this software, you guys, is extremely, extremely crazy. It is wild. So you can literally sign up for the software and you can tell it to pull the list for you, to find a good market for you, and it will find a market for you. And you can tell it to pull a list. Hey, to pull a list of this of all the stressed property in this. Hey, I'm in San Jose or I'm in California. What is a good market in California? Can you tell me? It will identify and tell you what's the hottest market, how much you can potentially make in that market, what's the average wholesale, how many cash buyers in the market, and what they're actively buying. I will leave the link to that full tutorial video right down below in the descriptions, but it is wild. It is crazy. What is the new software? Chris, it is called KingData.ai. Man, I got to bounce. I got to go. So it's called, hold on a second, Chris. It's called KingData.ai. But Chris, I suggest that you should go and watch the video. I'll put the link in my description. It's like an hour and a half long, where we'll explain to you how powerful this software is so you know how to use it and maximize it, okay? AI cover with skip tracing still. Derek, that's absolutely. As long as you have the software, Derek, I don't care if it's a basic plan or the pro plan, I will pay for your skip tracing, all right? I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, you guys, take care, and let's go get this. Moni, I'm out. Man.